Bitter criticism. It's not a special day. We don't have our starters, our stars. Um, radio, the radio stars. Um, we don't have nor Pepe Escobar, Timur Fomenko, and Bradley Blankenship. We don't have nothing but regular news like this. March 29, 2024. Homeworld news. Why Americans have little to smile about these days. This from Robert Bridge. Robert Bridge is an American writer and journalist. He is the author of Midnight in the American Empire. Midnight in the American Empire. How corporations and their political servants are destroying the American dream. Why Americans have little to smile about these days. Rising cost of living, disappointment with political leaders, and crushing loneliness are soaring moods in the land of the free. Crushing loneliness. Why, isn't it? So much loneliness, yeah. Yeah, that's an interesting phenomenon, isn't it? Why there's so much loneliness with so much people around? Who knows? I guess it's capitalism, you know? I guess the problem is capitalism. But I'm gonna just read and then I'm gonna comment. Robert Bridge. Why Americans have little to smile about these days. Free food distributed to residents in need at a weekly food bank at Our Lady of Refugee Church in Brooklyn on February 28, 2024 in New York City. There's a lot of homeless in New York City. I know this lady, Mary, who lives in Chile, in Viña. I asked her if she feels safer right here in Viña or in New York City, and she answered me. She feels safer right here. So yeah, this is a pretty safe place. Chile is safe. You know, there's a lot of problems, like crazy dogs. There's a lot of crazy dogs over here. But the truth is, this is a safe place. I mean, there's a lot of unemployment. Maybe it's not that safe, but it is. It's much safer than Brazil, for example. I guess because of, who knows? Because it's quiet. Here is quiet. Here is little development. I guess it's just like Germany. Germany is well developed and the expect of living is not that high. In different way, Lithuania, I guess. They live more, but I guess they live bored lives. They do nothing. They live forever with no risk, you know? I guess that's the question. If a country is developed, is well developed, there's a lot of risk and there's a lot of fast pace in modern life, you know? Modern life kill people, I guess. Modern life is not good for your health. Like drinking beers is not good. That's why I stopped drinking beers. Yeah, I stopped, Luna, I stopped. From a sputtering economy and high inflation to a lack of trust in political leadership, Americans are expressing displeasure with many facets of their daily lives. Yeah, definitely. America is well developed. So, in my opinion, this has to do with develop itself. So they have modern life problems. They have unemployment too, I guess. And even jobs are not that great, you know. Jobs. I wonder if it's better to be or not to be employed. Of course, you need money to survive, but they can take junk food for free. I wonder if this free food is not free food, but it's not. Well, Brooklyn, they have free food in Brooklyn. Let's go to Brooklyn. Uh, from us in the annual World Happiness Report. In the annual World Happiness Report, the United States plunged 8 places to 23's a historic low from the land famous for its pearly white smiles. It's the first time since the report launched back in 2012 that the US did not feature among the world's 20 happiest countries. It's the second time I'm seeing this result on news. Canada, for example, they are talking about that. In my opinion, that ranking is not true because Israel is a top 10 countries, but Israel is under war. So this is just ideology, you know. They are doing this ranking just to fix some problem they have in West, you know, like Israel, for example. They pretend to be so good, but Israeli people are dying. So how good is die? You know, how good is to die? And Israel is a top 10 country. What the hell? No, that this year I have to forget about Finland. You know, Finland. I don't know. Finland, there's a lot of unemployment too, inflation. I wonder where is Russia on that ranking. I wonder where is China on that ranking too. I guess China and Russia right now they are better. I guess there's more opportunities. There are more jobs there. I don't know what's the problem. There's no inflation on well the ruble, and I forgot the other currency. The yuan. They are doing well. They are growing. China's economy is still growing. Well, I don't believe that ranking anymore. That's it. Don't believe that ranking. But I will check it out. Where is in which position is Russia and China? So what's dragging American down? What's dragging American down? Perhaps the best place to start is with the economy, which has left many people in the dust, as the rich just keep getting richer. Consumer prices for basic grocery items remain above what they were in January 2021, when President Joe Biden assumed office. Prices for chicken increase of 26%, bread 30%, sugar 44%, and butter 27%. Well, there's a lot of inflation in America. But sugar, I will say that is good because people will let sugar aside. It's funny because I was in classroom doing an exercise, a regular exercise with a nice friend. I mean, a nice classmate I have. We are not friends, but she's nice. She have a pretty face. I'm sorry, but the question was drugs, you know. So the first thing I asked her, it was, what about sugar? Do you like sugar? Because she's kind of fat. I'm sorry, baby, but that's true. And she answered me that she loves sugar, and if she doesn't eat sugar, she feels dizzy. She feels crazy. I mean, she needs to. She's a sugar addict. That's the question. I guess sugar is bad for your brain. You know, I I I tell the story of mine that once I bought fondant. This is a candy. I bought a whole bar of fondant candy, which is basically sugar and milk. Sugar and milk. That's it. This is sugar and milk bar. I ate so much. I lose my mind. You know. I start to have pain in my brain. I had pain in my brain just for eating too much sugar. Well, and of course, and she asked me about weed. I did weed in my teenage. How to say my teenage times? Yeah, teenaging in my teenaging. Anyway, uh, just like every adolescent, I said, just like every teenager. This is a line from a movie, The Decline of American Empire. I guess it is. Oh no, Barbarian Invasions. This is a Canadian movie. There's a guy trying to buy heroin from for his dad, who had cancer, and police people asking him, "Do you use drugs?" He answered, "Yeah, just like every teenager, I smoke weed." That's it. I smoked weed just like any teenager. My colleague, didn't smoke weed. Oh, look at that! This is a different bird. Oh, no, it's no. This is a huge bird. It's not a seagull, but it's huge. It's a huge well. I definitely will search about this. I like birds. This is not a seagull, and now he's too far away. Well, it's a beautiful bird. It's huge. I guess it's not a predator like an eagle, nor a seagull. It's different. It's not a owl. Pretty interesting. That's pretty interesting. Anyway, so I provoke her. I tell her she is doing drugs. That's true. Uh, and what else? And she replied me about weed, and I don't smoke weed anymore because weed make you lose a lot of time. If you do weed, you will lose like you. In average, you lose like 3 hours since you start smoking, and then the effect is jumping, and then you will last half an hour enjoying 20 minutes, I guess. 20 minutes, 20 to 30 minutes, crazy, and then you will be 3 hours like a zombie, 3 hours like a zombie. What about that? What a lose of time. So there's a lot of inflation, and butter 29% are enough to trigger many shoppers, while a simple trip to a restaurant has become a rare luxury for many financially strapped consumers. Meanwhile, rent costs have surged by 20% over the same period. Amid this sticker shock at the checkout line, Americans have also expressed a heavy amount of skepticism with the political system. A comprehensive Pew Research Center survey reveals high levels of dissatisfaction with the three branches of government, the Democratic and Republican parties, as well as the candidates for office, which is basically Donald Trump. Donald Trump is the next president, I guess. Among the findings, just 4% of U.S. adults say the political system is working extremely very well. 4%. Another 23% report it is working somewhat well. About 6 in 10, 63%, 6 in 10, 6 in 10, 63% express not too much or no confidence at all in the future of the US political system. Shut up. So it's time for communism. I have some friends on Facebook. They are communists in the United States of America. I think they have a pretty bad time. When I saw their posting, well, their posting they are like wokeists. They are not so. Sometimes they say, "Oh, I'm communist." That's it. But next they say, "Oh, I cut the hair of my cat. Look, I have an." They are talking just bullshit. Wokeist bullshit. So they are not trying nothing, I guess, in the United States. Yeah, I guess that's the problem with my millennial and Z generation. I guess that's the problem. Just too much stupid people talking bullshit. These I guess the generations are terrible since the baby boomers, maybe the hippies. Since the hippies, people is too stupid, in my opinion. There's just irresponsible people, just stupid people. I guess this is a century problem. Anyway, maybe this I found about Hamlet, the Shakespeare character. Maybe I'm having a Hamlet time that mankind always suck. maybe always suck. So we have nothing to do for mankind in future neither. That's the sad truth, I guess. Shut up, Luna. Shut up, crazy. A growing proportion of Americans are expressing contempt for both political parties. Nearly 3 in 10, 28% express unfavorable opinions of both parties, the highest share in 3 decades of polling. And a comparable share of respondents, 25%, do not feel well represented by either party. It's not too much. 25% doesn't matter, That will not win the communist election. While trust in government has remained at near historic lows for much of the last 2 decades. Today it stands among the lowest levels, dating back nearly 7 decades. And now, 3 years after the January 6th protests in the Capitol building, more Americans believe their country is heading for a political smash-up. According to a CBS YouGov poll released in January, 49% of respondents expect some sort of violence in future political contests, like the upcoming showdown between Donald Trump and Joe Biden on November 4th. Meanwhile, full 70% agreed with the statement that American democracy is threatened. According to CBS YouGov poll released in January, 49% of respondents expect some sort of violence in future political contests, like the upcoming showdown. Yeah. Can you imagine? Yeah. But people are talking about civil war. Some people. Not since the Civil War period have the American people witnessed such stark political divisions. And it seems to be just a matter of time before the blue and gray battle fatigues. Before the blue and gray battle fatigues are back in style. Blue and gray battle fatigues. I don't know what is fatigues. No. They are talking about war. Before the blue and gray battle, fatigues are back in style, albeit over entirely different issues. The Democrats and Republicans are trapped inside of their own iron-clad echo chambers, where they are prevented from hearing their political opponents just across the Heysel. This lack of a national dialogue, worsened by an overtly pro-liberal media, is what spawned the so-called insurrection on January 6th, and could easily trigger a new bout of violence sometime down the road. Feelings of loneliness is another thing dragging Americans down. In January 2023, U.S. Surgeon General Vivek Murthy called loneliness a public health epidemic. The latest Healthy Minds monthly poll from American Psychiatric Association (APA) reveals that early in 2024, 30% of adults said they have experienced feelings of loneliness at least once a week over the past year, while 10% say they are lonely every day. Somewhat surprisingly, younger people were more likely to experience these feelings, with 30% of Americans aged 18-34 reporting are lonely every day or several times a week, and single adults are nearly twice as likely as married adults to say they have been lonely on a weekly basis over the past year, 39% versus 22%. Meanwhile, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention reports that approximately 1 in 10 Americans aged 12 and over takes antidepressants. Noisy truck experiences feelings with reports that approximately 1 in 10 Americans aged 12 and over takes antidepressant medication. More than 60% of Americans taking antidepressant medication have taken it for 2 years or longer, with 14% having taken the medication for 10 years or more. I just remember is not related, but I was listening to some podcast about it's actually a YouTube video about France weapon race. France is trying, maybe France is kind of depressed because of Africa. They are losing Africa, and they want to make war just to, I don't know about war, Sometimes when I'm very healthy and energized, I guess I can win a war. I want to do a war, but sometimes when I'm not so fine, like right now, I guess my back will hurt forever. So I guess right now I'm old guy. I'm peaceful old guy. I guess I will say that in some social media. Peaceful old guy. That's my description. Well, so France is trying to make war, and well, and they are saying that there's a lot of problems of budget to to produce weapons, and at some point somebody says that this is a quote, a famous quote of American people, that says, now you understand why America doesn't have public health. So America, everybody knows, doesn't have public health, and the reason is that they prefer to invest in weapons, in war. But that's the world we live in. uh, you have you have to choose between war and your health, your own health. You know, as I was saying, my back is hurting a lot, and but sometimes I think like this. Well, what is best, to die in war because I'm already kind of crippled? Maybe it's better to die right away in war. Maybe it's the best thing I can do is go to war and kill a lot of people and kill myself doing that. A very Hamlet situation. But anyway, I'm just gonna finish this question. I guess the Peruvians put poison on on his mine Cusqueña beer. I guess Peruvians are selling toxic beer to cripple us. What about that? So let's go kill Peruvians. Yeah, let's kill them all. This is my opinion. So what it is? So what is it that has put the American people in a grand funk? Needless to say, runaway inflation has prompted a deep distrust of politicians and corporations, which, by the look of things, are only in business to fleece. I don't know this word. Fleece. FLEECE. Fleece the powerless consumers. This alienation from the powers that be, together with feelings of loneliness, triggered by a discontent society that increasingly meets only online, has prompted a mental health emergency. Yeah, I guess don't having internet is better. Even though I don't have the audience, I feel so much better speaking another language, reading articles. I feel great, For example, this article is great. I'm gonna check the author. I'm gonna remember this author. I'm gonna amplify my ranking. I'm gonna put these guys somewhere. I'm gonna make a research on Russia Today platform for more articles from this guy, That's it. That's how you feel better. And of course you can have sex with your neighbors. you can fuck a butt, you can fuck their asshole. Not their asshole. You should ask, if you want to fuck someone's asshole, you should ask before. and give them some poppers, you know, and clean it up before. And that's how you overcome depression, having anal sex. I'm sorry, but that's how I think. This is a Freudian question, you know. Sex is super important. Without sex, there will be no people. Anyway, this alienation from the powers that be. I just read that. How can the American people begin to fix the broken society? It seems that the only answer is to breaking down the walls that separate the various segments of society, so that the national conversation can truly begin. Shut up, stupid! Shut up! Morons! Shut up! So where are the world's happiest places to live? According to the World Happiness Report, the majority of the top 10 happiest places are primarily northern countries that just happen to have the latest amount of sunshine. Finland, Denmark, Iceland, Sweden, Israel, the Netherlands, Norway, Luxembourg, Switzerland, and Australia. Yeah, I guess this is improbable. I don't believe that. I will repeat this. I got a lot of interest in this subject, in this ranking, some years ago, actually, maybe 5 years ago. And back then, I emailed these people, and I asked, because they have 7 criteria, something like that. Life expectancy, which is logic. I guess money. I don't remember how. Well, I don't remember the 7, but the three last, they were like solidarity, you know. How to measure solidarity? Well, that's at that point is, I guess, the whole ranking is scrambling. And what else? I don't remember now. Well, solidarity, but the last one, the very last one, is like dystopia. This is the last criteria, dystopia. And well, the dystopia criteria, it was the text of explaining that. No one can understand that, you know. No one can explain or understand that, and they didn't answer me, just like that. They didn't answer me. I asked for an explanation, and they didn't answer me. And so this is a bust, you know, that ranking. Look, Israel, I'm telling you, Israeli people are dying too. So this is just Western propaganda. What can I say? The happiest world report is just garbage. I'm going to China. I will see where is China and Russia. So we have more news from Russia today. Terror mastermind told attack suspects to flee to Kiev. Investigators. Last week, Krakow City Hall attack was organized anonymously via social media, according to officials. But Pepe Escobar is saying that this was ISIS Corazon, not Corazon, not Corazon. But it's close enough. No, I'm not an ISIS supporter. So I'm not gonna read it, because to me it's always well explained. This is Victoria Nuland just assumed, then she got fired, and that's the explanation. The CIA is backing these attacks. So that's it. And when I will publish this on my social media, Facebook, there will be a hot Asian telling me, hello, I'm super hot. I'm gonna let you fuck my asshole sometime. Well, that's how man thinks, you know? That's man thinking, man's desires, and that's it, you know? So we have more news. Homeworld news. The army needs more people. This news is interesting. Look, March 28th. Homeworld news. The army needs more people. Israel will force ultra-Orthodox Jews to serve as patient among secular runs out. So people, yeah, this is the happiest world. This is the happiest world report. Top 5 actually. Top 5. Israel. People are sending to war. They are dying. You know. They don't want to go in. They don't want to stay in Israel. I guess people are fleeing away from Israel. Maybe another Arab country will back Palestinians. Who knows? So this is not a happy country, you know. This is a war country. The army needs more people. Israel will force ultra-Orthodox Jews to serve as patients among seculars runs out. The ultra-Orthodox community of Israel is generally exempt from compulsory military service. Over the years, the state has tried to change this. These attempts to have largely failed, in part because the country failed to pass a law that will regulate their service. Yankee Farber, a Haredi journalist from the city of Bnei Brak, Central Israel, is not a typical representative of the ultra-Orthodox community, which currently stands at 1.25 million people, or roughly 12% of 12.5% of the population. So Israel, they have like 50 million people. Oh, something like that. Oh, 20 million. Who knows? Not mathematical skills here. That's interesting because Palestinians are 5 million. Yankee Farber, a Haredi journalist from the city of When he was 18, Farber enrolled into the IDF. And after he released around 3 years later, he has on occasion been called up to the reserves. When the events of October 7, 2023 took place, with Hamas militants launching a deadly attack on southern Israeli communities, he put on his military uniform again and went to serve. But Farber is an exception, not the rule. Historically, ultra-Orthodox Jews who were a minority when the State of Israel was established in 1948 received exceptions from military service. Back then, it was agreed that they would serve the state by praying, even though some did enroll in the IDF, especially in times of war and in cities that were attacked by Arab armies. I don't want to be a pawn in this sick game. In the 1990s, when their population started growing, Israel tried to encourage them to serve. But despite their efforts, the IDF only managed to recruit 31 individuals in 1999. Over the years, the situation has significantly improved. In 2016, the total stood at 2,850. Recently, the military announced that it has around 6,000 Haredi soldiers in its ranks. The events of October 7 have also given the numbers a boost. Though this is still just a drop in the ocean. Just a drop in the ocean. So can you see? You cannot be happy in this country, you know. There's a lot of problem. There's a lot of military problem. The majority of the Haredis do not serve because they are afraid that in the military they will be exposed to a variety of different opinions. Farber said. No, they are afraid of die. That's why people don't go to armies, because soldiers tend to die. That's it. Over there, they are likely to encounter soldiers from the LGBT community, Druze and the Bedouins. They will serve with women, and this encounter can change their minds. This can weaken their religious beliefs, something that the rabbis are worried about, he added. But Ronen Koller, an Israeli colonel in the reserves and one of the key activists in Achim Laneshek, Brothers in Arms, an organization that unites reservists who fight for equality in military service, says the roots of the problem run much deeper. They don't want to die, that's it. Hell, please, I don't want to die. Not that interesting. This, well, I will check it out. The previous journalists. It is true that the rabbis of the ultra-Orthodox don't want to expose their younger generation to modernity by sending them to the IDF. But that's also true that the more students they have, the more money their yeshiva religious school receives. They treat it as a business, as they have no plans to loosen their grip. No, I know. I always say that Israel is the country of capitalism, and looks like suit very well for Israel, for Jews. You know, I'm not a Jew, but everybody understands capitalism. So, do you want a religion that fits very well with capitalism? Don't think twice. Be a Jew, make a lot of money, or have no conflicts with God, making a lot of money. That's it. In 2021, it was estimated that Israel spent $83 billion annually on its 54,000 young yeshiva students. In addition, it forked out $248 million a year on religious students with families. This budget was increased in 2023 to cater to the fast-growing population of Haredis, and experts believe these funds will continue to grow. Well, that's it. I'm done with this very article here. I'm gonna jump to the next one. No, it's time to yoga. I will try to do something with my back pain. Oh, I prefer to, I'm not sure. Right now, reading all this, I prefer to survive. I'm gonna show you something I record myself. You will see. This is like a samba or a conga. I found this conga song on the street. Yoga time. I guess it's always too late for yoga. No, calma. It's just I just have time for release the dogs. Yeah. So last time there was two ladies with a dog and a girl. Ya pues, me sale. Those dogs over here, I don't trust them anymore. They are prisoner forever in this hill. And I don't care.